Oh my God, that was so
Hey,
cute. That was cute.
yeah. I
I
was
like
trying to
that.
hook it up. I
I
did
see that.
it.
I'm
I
like, oh
did.
my goodness, I love that so much.
Yeah, like I had to represent. You the She Hulk, and
Oh, okay. So is
you
it okay for me to ask you questions?
you can ask me anything. It's
Oh,
your
okay,
show.
okay. So what made you say, okay, now is the time to interview her? Like, was there like a triggering thing that prompted you to be like, yeah, now's the time to do this interview?
That's a good question. I don't know. I could have. I was thinking to myself. You could have reached out to her before, but I don't know. It just I don't know. I can't really. 'Cause we met before,
Okay.
but yeah, you remember me, right?
I don't remember. Like, I'm looking at you. I can't place from where. So you gotta refamiliarize me with our first intro.
Well, we seen each other at Velvet Row. It was kind of brief.
Okay. Like it was
Yeah.
like dark and shit.
Oh,
So
okay.
hold on, let me put my light on. The
Yeah.
light's on. There
Well,
we
let
go.
me introduce you to the viewers. Hey, this is Kaale, Cloud the Wanderer, and I'm with the lovely Marcie Simmons, IFBB Pro, Marcie Simmons,
Check me out.
known
Check
as
me
the
out.
She-Hulk. Yeah, looking great.
Thank you very
Like
much. I was sitting down, but I just started to stand up. My legs are starting to get sore. So I'm like,
nah, do what you feel that's comfortable for you. Like I'm I'm glad that you give me the opportunity to speak with you.
this is
Really
great.
appreciate it. I've been following you for years. Like I would say when I was first on Facebook around 2013, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that was like
Yeah,
right before I got my pro card. But what
yeah,
I've been doing
yeah.
recently, I want to say really the past week and a half, I decided to just post on all of my social media more, like on my YouTube and like my TikTok. And like I've got like 1.5 million views so far across all those platforms. So it's like a lot of my videos are going viral. And I'm just, just talking
Okay.
about my experience being me, being an athlete, from bodybuilder to powerlifter, living a hybrid of both, how people respond to me, the negative things that I've come across, and then just my perspective on being a woman. 'Cause some stuff
Right.
is like, I think a lot of people, they look at me, they're like, okay, this is a strong woman, but it's like, let's remove the strong. I'm strong, but I really enjoy being a woman. And there's so much more than just powerlifting, bodybuilding, or like the muscle. It's really, about what's inside. But all this other stuff, it is a bonus. It's nice having all of this, but it's easy for people to not really see you for who you are when they're looking at, oh, she's got this body. What if I didn't have the body? You have to be somebody who has to have true depth to really appreciate, the big picture.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
that make sense?
I mean, to me, you look like a woman. You don't look mannish or anything like that. I think it's probably what you do that maybe intimidates people. You
You know
know.
what it is? This is because I'm gonna make another video to like re-clarify certain things that to me should seem pretty obvious. Like one of the recent videos I did on my YouTube, and no, I think I first put it on my Facebook fan page, and it has like 350,000 views so far. And the video is titled, um, just because you're a muscular woman doesn't mean you're trying to look like a man, like an elite athlete, female athlete. That doesn't mean you're trying to look like a man. Or why do people think that you're trying to look like a man? Because women like myself, I'm like, it's actually not like male or female, but I'm like, it's more like you are at a superhero level because the average woman doesn't look like this, nor the average man. So I'm like, people like me, you have to compare to other men and women who are at the same level where it's like that aesthetic. So ultimately, a woman who has a really developed athletic body looks like that. That doesn't mean she's trying to look like a man. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like some people, the guys that say it, they see the presence of development as, oh, you're trying to look like a man. No, it's a female body that's developed for what her athletic is. And the contrast is that perhaps they don't have that development. So their lack of development when they say it to me, it's like, oh, I'm trying to look like a man. But it's like, sir, you don't even have that thing as a man that you say I have as a woman. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, my goal is to continue to educate, but those people that say that type of stuff, my speculation is that they don't have like really any athletic background. They don't work out. They're not like health conscious. Because if they really were, they will understand that what I do, it requires like a high level of dedication and commitment. And like, I've been doing this for 30 plus years. Like I'm very much so into being healthy, looking good, challenging myself, having fun, and then also inspiring other people to do their best. And not necessarily not be like me, but just do your best within you. And then, give yourself the tools and the resources that you need to be your best version.
Yeah. What inspired you to be athletic? Because I've seen some of your interviews, other interviews, where you started as when you was 14. I think you was doing powerlifting, if I'm correct.
I wasn't powerlifting per se, just weightlifting. At that age, I was
Weightlifting.
doing track and field. So I was always an athlete. Like for me, like let's just say if I never worked out, I always just still had a strong build. Like, genetically, I've been gifted with just, the broad shoulder, just a strong body, like a strong athletic build. Like just my foundation has been that. And that's something that I noticed from a young age. And I always put two and two together like, hey, if you want to be an athlete, in order to be a better athlete, you need to be, actively working out, make your muscles stronger, make that engine more powerful. I put two and two together with that like years ago. So I was always very much into like lifting weights. Always love being strong, and I love having this beautiful body. Because like when you work out, you look good. Like you see the details, and for me, I'm like, I like how that looks. You know how some people are like Marvel fans, they like the superhero thing. I'm like, I'm a Marvel character too.
When I first seen you, you looked like you was cosplaying as a superhero.
Yeah, that's just how I look.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I grew up watching Wonder Woman and the Bionic Woman. They didn't have muscles, but it kind of, I would say, engineered me to like women with muscles, if I
Okay.
could say that. Yeah, so during my teens, I worked out a bit. I started like paying attention to female bodybuilders about 16. I
Okay.
seen Linda Murray and all these other women, and it was like you was fascinated. You seen them on TV, but then after a while, you stop seeing them like being on television, and
Yeah.
they're to a point where they did get stigmatized also because of how they look, the facial and like what's your thoughts on that? Like the extreme. Like, do you believe that athletes can do the extreme, especially women?
Of course. And I would say women, they do it and they do it better than men, in my opinion. And not because it's like, oh, I necessarily want to be better than a man, but like hormonally and just like your body chemistry, that you have variables that make it more difficult for you to be like elite at that level. So if you see a woman who some people be like, oh, she looks like a man, you know what? You just see her bone structure because she's fucking lean. Like she's dieted very hard to get on stage, to have that appearance, to be shredded. That's it. Like you are sacrificing. She's not happy. You're not happy when you're fucking hungry. Like, cause I've been there. I've been at like 6.5% body fat, looking like Skeletor. You can see, just all the details. I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm dehydrated. But that sacrifice is what's required to look on stage, to be on stage, to look like a statue where you can see everything. That requires sacrifice. It's not necessarily like pretty. It's just that's elite level bodybuilding, right? And I think for women have to usually work like at least 1.5 times harder to get shredded like that, to get hard like that, to have that presentation. So I'm like, it's a lot that goes into it. But I would say that the women that do it, they have proven that it can be done, right? That you can be elite. You just, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes with a lot of them. I've done it. Train 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Like, you really have to do what you have to do. And it's a choice. Because, like, the average person that wants to lose weight, they never can lose weight because they are not strong enough mentally to stay committed to their commitment for even like a week, let alone 16 weeks, 20 weeks, like no sweets. You got a real strict diet. So I'm like, it's a lot that goes through it. Like you feel sad, you feel depressed. There's birthday parties. You can't do normal things. You're really ostracized. So can you imagine you have these sacrifices that you have to make to pursue this path that really doesn't have a payout besides self-fulfillment? Because if you look at what the male competitors are getting at the Olympia that come in first place, almost $1 million, $750,000. The women, I think, at the most get like $50K. So
yeah, I heard that.
At least half of that is going to get invested in just preparing to get there, from like the training and the coaching, the tanning, the hair, all the laser, makeup. Women have to spend more than what men do. So women do have it more, they have more obstacles in terms of like what they need to do to just be comparative to a man on that level. But then to be compared to a man, like, oh, you look like a man. No, you actually just look like what a female bodybuilder would look like. Like, you take anybody, you take the fattest person in the world and put them at like 5.5% body fat, they're going to look a lot different because you can actually see what their skeletal muscle looks like because they don't have no fat on them. So I'm like, that's not looking like a man. That's being very, very lean. That's the result of conditioning because you've worked out 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, sacrificed everything, and then just you are pretty much running pretty close to the brink of like, okay, 2 seconds away from being in the hospital, you're dehydrated, you don't have that much fat, so you're peaking to get ready to just present yourself as your best on the stage on that day. And then you have to pose and you got to do the routine. Sometimes you can't even remember because like you just barely running on fumes. So I'm like, it takes a lot of work. And can you imagine you do all that, you take a half year to get ready for somebody to be like, oh, you look like a man. I'm like, that's insulting because the average man does not look good, let alone look anything like a female bodybuilder. So it's just like there are things that people say that are very insulting, whereas if they really knew the nitty gritty on what it takes to be an exceptional athlete, they would have a newfound appreciation. And they just don't, because there's just a lot of people they like to bully. But I also think, I was going to say on the flip side, a lot of that bullying is projection. Like, I think the ones who do say the most negative things about female bodybuilders because they're really attracted to it. And because they're attracted to it and they know that maybe other people would say that they're weird for being attracted to it, they want to really like try to shove down your throat as a person like myself, how undesirable you are. Just let's compare it to those guys that are like homophobic, oh, faggot this, faggot that, blah, blah, blah. You're gay, he's gay, blah, 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 trans, this and that. I think for real, if a straight man gives that type of energy to fags or transgenders, that they are really sexually attracted to that, and they're mad at themselves and they're just having a tantrum because they don't really know what to do about handling those feelings they have about being attracted to those things. Because they couldn't, if they're open about it, then they'll get labeled the thing that they're calling you or calling those the fags or whatever. They'll be labeled that. They don't want to be labeled that, so they want to be very, over the top about how it's undesirable. It's like, well, if it's so undesirable, then why are you even saying anything about it? Or if I'm undesirable, or if a man's attracted to me, he must be gay or some type of repressed homosexual. Why are you on my page looking at my pictures? Right? Like, why don't you entertain the bitch who looks feminine as you desire? Why are you looking at me? Or let's just say if I did want to look like a man, because I mean, looking like a man is two different things. As a woman, you either look like that anyways, and it don't have nothing to do with drugs. So there are women who are really androgynous who kind of look like both. Or if you do take heavy anabolics, you can have changes that'll trigger you to have more of a masculine appearance because of what you're taking. But either way, like those people, it seems like that have all those things to say, they're still attracted to it, whether you are born looking like a man or if you're taking drugs to actually look like a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I sit back and observe and I just look at it like, oh, okay, I don't take anything personal. Like I have if you follow my Facebook fan page, there's people that say a lot of crazy stuff. So I have a sense of humor. I'll just, I'll make my little comments, but I don't internalize it like, oh, this bothers me. If I did, then maybe that was like years ago when I was like younger and just still learning the ins and outs of how people can be very insensitive and online bullies and stuff like that. But, you know, ultimately what people say about others says everything about their character and how they truly feel about themselves.
I really can't answer that. I think that there's truth to what you say. Because even like when I make videos and some guys in the comments, they kind of they say some crazy stuff like, "Oh, that's a man," and stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is because I don't really got no explanation about it. I mean, for me, there was moments where I could be ashamed of it. I'm not gonna lie because
Yeah.
I would draw like muscle women a lot, and I would see like people's reactions, and some of them their reactions it was uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, like they would look at me like I had like two heads or something like that.
They looked
So
at you
I
like you had two heads because of you saying you like female bodybuilders.
Well, not me saying it, me drawing it. I would draw it, or like if somebody had like if I had pictures of it and they see me looking at it, then they were just giving me this look. I have a friend, he has a YouTube channel. His name is All the Rage George Page. Shout out to
Okay.
him. And people had questioned him about was he gay or not, because he had an interest of muscular women. And he has a comment right here. So let me he says hello to Miss Simmons. And then
Hello.
he says it always gets me when people say because you have muscles, you're trying to be a man. And but I mean that's the flack that a lot of guys that's into female muscles get. It's not really like showcase too much. Like we can't showcase it too much. I'm talking about me because I always get those criticisms and stuff. I don't know, maybe it's my insecurity. I don't know, but then again, it's like this too. Some of the female bodybuilders, they kind of standoffish at times. They especially on social media, and they got their stuff too. Not all, but some of
Yeah.
them. So you know, but get back to you.
Let's talk about me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like when how did you started competing? Like was you what inspired you to compete? That's what I want to ask you.
Okay, so like I said, I've always just been a natural athlete, very competitive. Track and field in um, grammar school, high school, and I went to a private college. They had like I guess Division 3 level stuff. So I did like cross country just for the sake of staying active. But that was not enough for me. I'm like I need to lift some weights. But at a certain age, like 20, like you just kind of age out of sports, regular college level sports. So I continue to lift weights because I just, I like how it makes me feel. I like how it makes me look. So then, I had my daughter. I was 24 when I had my daughter, still working out, but I was like a little bit heavier or whatever. And then at a certain point where I'm like, okay, I want to just lose some weight. A guy who I had trained me, his name is Osh Collins. He actually passed earlier this year, which is so sad. Oh my God, he's a good friend. He was let's see, 53. I think he had like a heart attack or something like that. He was a gorgeous man, very much so in shape. But he helped me at that point where I was like, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds. And in the process of trying to lose my little baby weight, I noticed that he was getting ready for a bodybuilding show, right? And I was like, oh, I had never been to a bodybuilding show. And I always thought to myself, like, it might be boring to go to this show, but I wanted to support him as a friend, right? So it was like a local bodybuilding show in the south suburbs of Chicago. I wanted to support him. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever because most of the people who were competing they were older people, like 50s, 60s, and they were like ripped and they looked good. And I saw grandmas that were jacked and they were just, like they were flexing. And I was like, oh my God, this is for me. I'm like, this is a beauty pageant with muscles. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, I am going to get ready for a show. Right. And then sure enough, I figured it out. Like I never really had a coach. I just always figured out my stuff myself. So let me see, like you said, 2013 is when you started following me. I had noticed, I was like, okay, the people who are going to the Olympia, I'm like, I look better than these people. Like the people that have all this $1 million sponsorship and this and that. I'm like, I'm just a girl from Chicago who figured it out. And I look better than these people. And I knew I looked better than these people. So I told myself, like I was in Florida, in the Panhandle, in Destin, Florida. I moved back to Chicago after being there for about 1.5 years. And I told myself, I'm like, when I got back, it was like November of 2013. I got back to Chicago and I made a video. I did my little selfie video. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get ready for a show. I'm going to get my pro card because that's the thing. Like if you get your IFBBPRO card, you a bad MF. And I told myself, so I got ready and figured it out. I took from November 2013 and then November 2014, that's when I got my pro card. But I got ready and I just knew it was my time. I knew it was my time. And like, as I prepared and got ready and I knew I was ready, I was like, okay, I did a qualifying event. It was, what was it called? The Ironman. So that was November of 2014. I did the Ironman in women's bodybuilding, right? I qualified for nationals. But what happened at the time, one of my associates who I was talking to, because like I said, I didn't have no coach. I was coaching myself. He told me, he was like, Marcie, he was like, those girls in Miami, if you do bodybuilding, you're not going to win because they're like really, really big. He was like, what you need to do is women's physique. And I'm like, what's that? What's women's physique? I had no idea what the hell women's physique was. So he partnered me up with some people who we know, some girls who did figure. So I needed to learn the women's physique poses and just how I need to do my routine and present myself. So I took 2 weeks, maybe like a little bit less, because that's all the time I had. Because it was like the qualifier and then like nationals. I think nationals was like November the 20-something, downtown Miami. So here I am. I'm like, I did all of this last minute stuff. I was ready to. I looked really, really good. But I'm like, shit, I don't know nothing about physique. And then, you have to have like a minute presentation to the song and everything. And I kid you not. So the night before the national event, I just made it up. I made up my routine. Because my thing is like when it comes to posing and presenting yourself, you should always just kind of have like a natural flow. So like my different transitions, I would always just kind of do the posing or a posing routine of some sort to just the regular music I listen to. And I love house music. So I would always, just be very beautiful and graceful with my poses just all the time, because as you pose more and more, it just makes you more fluid with it. So sure enough, the national show, it was when it was. And I had like I was against 100 different girls. But like I said, I was in the zone. I'm like, I just knew this was my time. And I came in first place. Like I came in first place out of 100 girls. Perfect score. I got the best poser, first overall. Let me show you my trophy. Hold on, let me grab it. Here. Trophy big as hell. Hold on. See. You can see it. See that?
Okay. 2014.
Overall champion.
When did you last compete?
I competed in 2024, the Chicago Pro. But I got this. I won this, and in 2015, I did like 3 pro shows. I did 3 pro shows in women's physique. So I just coached myself because, the reason why I coached myself, to be honest, is because a lot of the male coaches out that I saw, they were kind of predatory. So I'm just like, I don't have time to be in a situation fighting off some man when I just really want to be the best athlete that I can be. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, I'm just coaching myself. I'm figured out. And I would say, considering me doing and then learning as I went, I did very well. Because like a lot of these girls, they got people giving them all types of thousands of dollars, sponsorships. I'm figuring everything out myself. And I did pretty good. Like I said, I got my pro card. I did 3 pro shows in 2015. I know my third pro show, I got like 5th place. But my first pro show, actually, I'm the most proudest of. I got like 9th out of 32. But I'm like, that was the New York Pro. I was absolutely shredded, competing against girls that were very, very, very seasoned, and I placed like top 10. So I'm like, that was like freaking awesome. But after that, 2015, I just took off. I enjoyed my life. Had marriages, had my kids, and just all type of fun. And then I want to say it was the end. Okay, the end of 23. I'm like right now. I'm probably like 183, but I was heavier, like 200 pounds. And if you've seen me, I've always looked good at any size because I always worked out, but I did have more body fat. But I had told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm too happy. I was happy though, but I was like, I really missed being shredded. Like I missed seeing all them lines and the cuts and shit, the veins. I'm like, I got to get shredded. So I had another journey that I was going to do. I'm like, let me just lose some weight. Cause I got up to like maybe 228 pounds. And mind you, I'm 5'5.5". I'm like, I was just, that's just too much weight. So I told myself I am going to not only lose this weight, but I'm going to get ready for another physique show. Right. So I went from like 228 pounds to like, I think, what was that about? Maybe 153. I did it in 3.5 months. Like, so I got that weight off. And then I competed in the Chicago Pro. That was July of 2024. Now with that, I didn't place. I came in the last call outs. And what I noticed is that it just changed over the last 10 years. What was first place 10 years ago is not first place now. Like there is like women's physique, it's just not the same. It changed. So what changed is that it's like it's a harder look, whereas before that criteria would have got scored down 10 years ago, but now it's like they want you to be hard. They want you to be more like bodybuilder type stuff. And for me, I'm like, well, shit, I want to take whatever compounds would be required to have me look like that, because at that point, it's not worth it. But at that point, I was like, I'm happy, shit, because I look good. And then after that show, which was July 2024, I peaked late. So like I had dropped like another 10 pounds after the show. It's just my timing was off. So I got to about 143. So I was like, well, I'm just going to start doing my fitness modeling. I did all type of fitness modeling and took all type of gorgeous pictures and just had fun in that lane. And that was 24. Going into 2025, I had, look at those pictures. Going into 2025, again, an associate of mine was like, man, Marcie, you've been talking about doing this powerlifting thing, blah, 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 for some years. I got this event that's coming up. That was April of last year. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like I just work out to work out. I had never done any sort of powerlifting specific training. But remember, like my whole life has been dedicated to doing like strong woman type stuff. So I'm always in the gym picking up heavy weight. So I did that. That was April of 2025. I just did the deadlift and the bench. So my bench was like, I want to say my max was, it was just 185. I think I tried 205 and I missed it because I'm like, I don't bench, but 185 is still good for a woman who just, lifts regularly, and then a 405 deadlift. So then here I go. I'm like, all right, I'm about to power lift. Again, I didn't have like a coach, but I have friends who power lifted and they taught me the ropes. And then I did my first full powerlifting meet August of last year. So when I did that, like I broke all the state records. I had like 242 pound bench, 325 squat, and like a 479 pound deadlift. Right. And then let me see, that was August, September, October. My second show was the Olympia. Now, mind you, before Olympia, I got sick, really sick. I had some sort of upper respiratory virus that caused me to break out in blisters. Don't see if you can see these scars. So right here, like they were blisters. It was all up in my throat. I was bleeding. I couldn't eat for like a week. I had to go to like 5 different hospitals. They didn't know what it was until they did a biopsy. So long story short, what happened was that I inhaled something that was in the air, an upper respiratory virus, and my body responded how it responded by just having, blisters on my arms, on my legs, it was on my gums. It was really nasty. Like it looked like, I call it like zombie disease, right? It was not contagious. It was just something like that's how my body processed it. And what sucked is that I couldn't eat for like a week. I had this meet coming up. Like once I was at the hospital, my meet at the Olympia was 19 days later. And of course, there were people that was like, Marcie, don't do the meet because your immune system is shot. I was like, I'm doing the meet because I want my gold Olympia medals that I know I'm going to get. And sure enough, what I did, as soon as I was at the hospital, I went to my gym. I was like, let me see if I could still deadlift what I would like to deadlift. And if I could pull this weight, I'm doing a meet. So I deadlifted 495. So I'm like, it's still in there. Because I was afraid, I'm in the hospital, I'm going to lose strength. It was still there. And sure enough, I did the Olympia. What was my squat? My squat was 325. I got to tell you about that squat. Like, my squat was what it was because I was afraid to lift heavier because I had like some hip imbalance.
I'll come back because I want to show something and my screen is kind of stuck.
Oh,
but keep talking. All right.
Had some hip imbalances. The squat was 325. My bench was 259 and my deadlift was 507. Yeah, so I'm moving up.
Yeah, I'll show some of your stuff right now. Human action.
That was 495 for reps. I did it 3 times.
Yeah. Now you like the only woman, or there was some women that was deadlifting?
There were women in their own section, but over there I was like, I need to lift with the men because I can lift what they're lifting. So I went over there. Yeah. I went over there. Oh yeah, that's pretty iconic. My 225 for 12 reps, like there's not many women in the world who can do that, or men. So I'm like, where I'm at now, like my last, let me see, my December meet, I had like a 385 squat, a 275 bench, and a 523.6 squat. So where I'm at right now, I am ranked number 1 in the world for my age, the 40 through 44, and I'm about number 4 in the US, all ages, for the 181. So my next current goal before I retire, and it's gonna be a very short career, but I'm about less than 100 pounds from being like top 10 best 181 of all time. So my goal is to get that done within the next 12 months, and then I'm gonna just do something else. But I plan on squatting about 565, benching 327, and then doing a deadlift of about 610 pounds. And that could be probably number 8, top time, best ever. And then, that will make me a legendary darling. And what's cool about it is just like some things are just true. Sometimes it's just your time and you're that person. And it's like a lot of the people I'm competing against, they've been doing it for like 10 years. But for me, I've also dedicated my life to like just, strong woman type stuff, being very strong. So powerlifting has been a perfect outlet for me to truly express my strength. Whereas, with the bodybuilding, it's more cosmetic. Like I have pretty muscles, but now I have pretty muscles that are fucking strong. So I'm like, I'm optimized. So I'm like world class, and it's my time. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that before this year is over. I'm gonna hit those numbers, and then like my goals are just like maintain. But like once I stop, I am gonna lose that type of strength. I'll be strong, but like I'm strong the way I am is because I do what I do. But I don't plan on doing that forever because although now I'm not injured, you will injure yourself if you just picking up the world 2-3 times a year. But I'm like, I'm real happy to see that I've been able to accomplish what I've accomplished because I believe in myself.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't do strong women. You ever?
I met a girl who does strong women that was telling me about it. I'm like, man, that's badass. I am going to try it just to like, I'm going to train to do it, like picking up the what do you call it, the Atlas Stone and the Farmer's Walk. Yeah. My speculation is that if I train to try to do strong woman and go back to powerlifting, it's just going to be a piece of cake because it's going to make my whole body just strong in a different way. that again is going to allow me to manifest that strength to pick up, powerlifting style, especially, with the technique being mastered with, just maturing over time. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I am going to try it though.
Do you have like athletes, like women athletes that like even bodybuilders that you were inspired by, or was like, wow, fascinated?
I like Linda Murray. I remember when I first really started research, I did look at the early '90s bodybuilders. Like I like how Iris Kaale look, Laura Crevel. She's really nice. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and my makeup artist, he did her makeup. He traveled with her internationally for about 8 years, and he does my makeup too when I need to get my makeup done. So I'm like, it's nice knowing that, with this small niche that we have is so interconnected, how we all know each other. But I would say I like Laura Crevel. I liked her look. I like Linda Murray's look. I like that they presented themselves very pretty. Like they look very pretty, like, like the action figures. And I'm like, I can identify with that because I see the curves and the definition. I'm like, I like that. That's gorgeous. They got like big, but I'm like, I like big muscle. Not real big, but like just muscle where you can tell, okay, this is, you have to put in fucking 20 some years to get this type of muscle. Like certain things, it has to be matured over time. Some people think, oh, it's just a pill. It's like, it's not a pill. You can take pills to help you recover, but like ultimately you got to put in the work, you got to rest, you have to recover, and you have to train in a smart progression so that you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know it's not an easy thing to do what you do. So yeah.
It's fun. I find it's fulfilling to me. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it because I like to challenge myself. Because otherwise it's like, well, what the hell else what should I be doing?
Did you ever play other sports like basketball or baseball or something like that?
I did track and field.
Oh,
I did the lingerie football league for a little bit in 2012, but like they didn't pay none of the shit really pays money. But I like at that point I was like, ooh, do I do bodybuilding or the lingerie football league? That was fun. I had a good, what they call it, a 40-yard dash. I can run. I still can run. It's so funny. Like some people think you're a bodybuilder. I'm like, no, I can run. I got a nice ass vertical. I can jump on top of a 40-inch box right now and sprint right now. I'm like, I am a well-rounded athlete. However, what I don't know how to do is swim. I got the black people disease.
Yeah, I don't swim either.
I don't know how to swim. Once I learn how to swim, then I'll feel better. So I need to get some swim lessons.
Yeah,
like one-on-one swim. That will optimize me. And I always told myself, once I learn how to swim, I'm gonna learn how to surf. But I'm gonna stay out of like warm waters with a shark. So I'm gonna be, since I'm in Chicago.
Yeah.
Wait, where are you? Where are you located?
I'm in New York City.
So you're in New York now. Okay, yeah. So I'll be in Lake Michigan surfing. Probably Wisconsin. Okay. Yeah.
But you want well, I don't know. California is kind of crazy at times. They be having fires and all this other stuff. So yeah, so huh?
I said I just look at it as another form of athleticism. Just like once I learn how to swim, I'm like, if I know how to swim, I will want to learn how to surf because I just look at it like that's full body balancing and stuff like that. That's just another way to express being in shape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I've caught like some of your clips. There's times I've watched. So you talk about dating and
let's talk about it.
why men like female bodybuilders. I would like to play some of your clips.
Okay.
To know how to properly date a female bodybuilder, I am going to provide you with the blueprint. Keep in mind, these rules, not only do they apply to female bodybuilders, but they also apply to regular ass women. That being said, number one, realize that she, in fact, is not a regular woman. She's very intentional, very structured, and very disciplined. So when you come into her life, you have to absolutely have a purpose. You have to be that which adds value to her life and that which does not take away value and or depreciate her. Appreciate her. Number 2, you have to be a secure man. You cannot be intimidated by her physicality or her presence. That body, it's artwork, built to last. Okay, so as a man, you have to appreciate that again, not compete with it. Number 3, you should match the standard physically. Now, of course, you do not have to be her, but you do need to take care of yourself. She wants to admire you too, darling. Effort appreciates effort. Number 4, respect her lifestyle. Training, meals, recovery, all of that is non-negotiable. Do not try and pull her out of her routine. You must align with it. Number 5, and this is a big one, you have to feed her, okay? She eats with purpose, so send her groceries, send her a little Grubhub, send her a little Zelle, a little $100, $200, because she needs food to eat and grow, okay? All of that is support, it's being thoughtful, and it's being very strategic.
Yeah, I didn't want to take everything, but just that's if you want to watch the rest, check her YouTube channel. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your thoughts on it? If I could ask you that.
On what?
Like everything, like I mean, like I could ask you, like, do you want a guy to worship you?
Okay. I want to be appreciated. Okay. So like, based on my experiences with dating, I've had very positive experiences. So I look at myself as a woman who enjoys being taken care of because I take great care of myself. Like I spend a fortune on my food, my supplements, all of my training, everything I do to be exactly who I am because I'm worth it. If I wasn't worth it, I wouldn't give a damn about trying to be one of the strongest women ever, or, eating a certain type of way or training a certain type of way. Like it's an investment. Like I like how I look. So it requires effort. It requires intentionality. It requires money and just being very detail oriented, meticulous, committed. Like that's how I treat myself. Like that's baseline. So if I'm going to have a man in my orbit who's interested in me, at the minimum, he has to come in at the level that I'm in, but really higher. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already doing it. So I'm like, a man, I look at him as needing to, like, he has to enjoy doing those things how I do for myself. He has to want to do those things. And not necessarily like worship, but I do want him to be very much so interested in me. Like he has to like really like me. And if he really likes me, he's going to be like, oh yeah, let me do whatever it is I need to do for you to make sure that you're happy and that you don't need anything. Because I'm already performing at 110%. You know what I'm saying? So like when you say worship, one of the first things I think is like some of the fetishy type stuff, like, oh, let me, touch your muscles and blah, 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 blah. But worship in a way of like, just heavy adoration. I do want him to be obsessed with me, but not like in a real obsessive type of way. But what I mean is that I want him to have 24/7 a conscious awareness. Is Marcie good? Because for me, like I like to feel wrapped up in love and security. And I'm like, if I don't have that, if he doesn't naturally feel that way towards me, then that's just not my guy. I don't want a guy who doesn't feel that way towards me. Because I know I feel that way about myself. So I definitely need a man who can give me that same energy. Otherwise, I don't need to entertain him,
No, I understand. I mean, I just, in a way, it just kind of like, it it kind of projected me as a bit of a worship, or getting something that you might not be able to get at a certain point, if I could say that. I don't know.
I don't understand what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying, like, it just kind of, I just, me looking at it, it was like a little worship, like when you say, when on certain things, like feed them. I get what you're saying, but you know,
Oh,
it when,
you saying that was your initial thought when you saw that video about like the idea of worship being worshipped?
yeah, like in a pedestal. That's what, like,
Yeah,
being
very
like.
much so. I think like I feel that that's how women should be treated. And one of the things I see a lot is that there's a handful of men, maybe more, who feel that women shouldn't be treated that way. Like they should be not worshipped or treated like ladies. Like they're just supposed to be there to just be used for something. And I'm like, I don't like that. I suppose maybe some women need to do better. Maybe they don't deserve whatever somebody else thinks that they may not deserve. But I think that if you have good character, you shouldn't be promoting mistreatment of anybody. I know I don't promote.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, to a point when you pedalize somebody, they may not be appreciative. You know, they'll look down on you in the simple way of me saying it, because I could be giving you flowers and money, taking you on dates, and then you not doing anything for me, and then I start having that resentment, and that's what a lot of guys, I notice they do that. Like they'll pay for things, and the women don't really do much.
Well, I
You
think
know.
with that being said, you have to use common sense. But I think what happens is that some of these guys, they are investing the things that they're investing ultimately because they're just trying to be with this woman for reasons that aren't like long term. I think if they're dealing with a woman who has made it obvious that they really don't like them, they're probably just trying to get to the finish line and sleep with her so they can just be like, okay, I'm done with her, or I've done so much, let me at least try to smash and then let me go about my business. But I think you need to have high standards for yourself as a man. Like for me, I like to be pursued by a man. I'm not going to give a man masculine energy and chase him. Okay. I don't think he should chase me, but what I do feel he should do is pursue me. So one of my philosophies is that a man chooses a woman and a woman either accepts or denies. Okay, but I'm not going to chase him. Like you have to make it obvious to me that you really want me. And then at that point, I'll confirm that I like you and I want us to go on this path to pursue each other. However, if I'm being dismissive, or if you could tell that I'm not feeling you like that, why are you still trying to pursue me? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you have to have standards and boundaries for yourself, where it's just kind of like, well, if it's not reciprocated that the other interest is there, then at that point you have to just cut your losses short. Because like I said, just more and more as I continue to mature, as I see like red flags, I'm not about to look for or wait for a second one. I'm just gonna be like, this doesn't make sense. I have too much, self-worth to deal with things that I know don't make sense. So I think it's logical to know that you don't want to get used or have somebody take advantage of you, but you can tell just by their actions. Like I said, if a man gives me a green light, I'm not just gonna sit up and just be like, well, I'm not gonna, return any type of energy. But I am gonna allow like natural polarity. I do want him to pursue me, and I'm just gonna, give him that good feminine balanced energy. But I'm not gonna treat him indifferent. But that's me. Like I understand, like some women, they aren't like that. They aren't optimized. But I know for me, like I have good character, integrity. I want to be treated with love and respect. So I'm gonna give that out. But I'm not gonna like chase him or treat him like I'm the man, because I don't want that type of relationship. And I do think some men probably do want to be chased. I don't want a man who has like a princess type of. I like masculine guys. I don't want no dude that's just kind of working from that space. But I do understand again what you're saying. Like some men, they don't want to feel like, oh, I'm getting the flowers, I'm being romantic, she's not reciprocating. If she's not reciprocating, and you see she's not reciprocating, there's your answer. All right, well, you're going to just stick around for what? Why would you stick around? You see that she clearly doesn't, she's not into you. So just, have some self-respect and remove yourself from that situation.
Yeah, a lot of guys, like, I noticed they just settle what they can get, and that's not really good too. So,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a video about that. I think a lot of men have their idea of their dream girl. Like, oh, if I had her, I wouldn't need any other bitches, any other hoes, blah, blah, blah. However, let's just say this. Some men may never get their dream girl because, one, their dream girl may not exist, or if she does exist, they may not have enough, whereas she would just want to be with him. Right? There are some women out there who, oh, love is enough. Love is enough, right? I think love is great. I don't say that love is enough, because you need to have a balance. And that balance is determined by both parties. For example, for me, if I'm gonna be with a guy, he has to have some resources. He needs to he needs to be rich on paper. He has to have active resources, because where I'm at, it's just a high financial requirement. Like my regular bills without saving is like $5,000. I'm actively working. I have to work to pay my bills. So let's just say if a guy, he comes in my orbit, he wants to spend time with me, or he wants a vacation. Well, sir, you need to have money to help offset my lost wages, because this is what I've been doing during this time. Separate of you coming into my life, now you want to shenan and have fun. That's fine, but you need to have enough resources to be in my life like that, because I'll be losing money if I'm entertaining you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like he absolutely has to have that, because I'm like, I'm already doing what I got to do to be successful. But if you're trying to come into my life, you have to be like, okay, I'm going to bring these things that's going to allow us to get, to know each other better, and it doesn't disrupt the quality of your life and or your goals. But some women have like less requirements, where they maybe they have their own money, they don't need that, But I know for me, I do, especially since I want to get married again. And then like once I retire from all my fitness, I would love to have another child. The world's strongest future baby. Yes.
Okay.
So he has to have some resources. He has to have some resources. And I know it's more than just, like I said, money. That helps. You need money. But more than love, you need respect. You guys need to really like each other. There needs to be a system where you guys are adding value to each other's life. You know what I'm saying? Because where I'm at, like, I'm doing what I have to do. And I have a daughter who's almost 19. I have this beautiful place all to myself, filled with beautiful things. And I'm just, I'm in a mode where I can be very creative, because I have this space where I can just sit up and think. And, I think solitude brings perspective. And for me, it's like allowing me to be very creative. And I like how I feel, because what I have produced has me where I'm at now. Like I manifested an interview, which is just great. All because I'm just like, okay, I have all these ideas. Let me create these videos and put it out there and see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I've seen you for years,
So far, so good.
I just ain't, I don't know. Because I was, I was interviewing a lot of people, and you did come to my mind, but at that moment I was like, nah, I don't know, not right now, but it's kind of crazy. Yeah. But I wanted to talk to you. It's not like I ain't wanted to talk to you. But,
how long have you been doing interviews?
A few years now. Like I started maybe like 2020. I mean 2023 or something like that. 2024, something like that. Yeah.
So with this interview, are there people watching right now, like live?
Yeah, you got somebody responding to you.
Oh,
what do you like the most and the least about bodybuilding?
What I like,
think you talked about that, right?
I would say that it's fun. It's nice to get there. Like you're there, you're at the finish line. It's the day. So on the day of the event, you're able to see the results of all your hard work through living it in real time, as well as being able to look back on the pictures. It's like, okay, I made it. I actually did this. I successfully completed a prep. Right. So yeah, you're just showing up and being available that day as your best. I like that a lot. What I least like about it is the fact that because politics are just what it is. You know, typically the top 5, 6, 7, 8 girls are already in the judge's mind, because a lot of those girls who are already predetermined to be top 5, 6, 7, 8, they're girls who probably do have a lot of money. Like, somebody's paying their bills, because like it's very expensive just to keep competing every month. But because these girls, they are in front of these judges' faces all the time, the judges are looking for them. So it's easy to be overlooked. Like, you can look really, really good, but like if they already have in their mind that they probably not gonna really look at you because such and such is kind of, you know, paid their dues to show their face on a regular, it's not, I would say you have variables that are fighting against you in terms of like getting your best placement. And it's a lot of like personal feelings, like, oh, she reminds me of my ex-wife, or I don't like her hair, blah, blah, blah. You can get marked down over a lot of variables that really have nothing to do with you. Whereas with powerlifting, if I pick up 500 pounds, nobody can say I didn't pick it up because I picked it up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love powerlifting, because it's just like, shit, I don't have any sort of silent hate that's gonna keep me from being successful. Like, I did what I did, and it's on the records. You know, where like I said, with bodybuilding, there's a lot of variables that can skew your results outside of your control.
Yeah, he also he don't want no pretty dude.
What does that mean? I don't want a pretty guy.
I don't know. I guess he's saying that you don't want to conscious focus on looks. I don't want to speak for him, but
I'm gonna say this. If I had to choose like my own man, I would want him to be handsome. I don't want no ugly guy. What's ugly? I do want him to be attractive. Does he have to be a pretty boy? I've had my share of pretty boys. I don't want no dude who's like a pretty boy, like doing things that remind me of a female. Like, he could be very well groomed, nice teeth, very well groomed. I think that's what really makes a person look good. Like, their teeth are together, they have good skin, their nails, their hair is cut. Like, I like clean cut guys. And if he's in shape, that's a plus. And if he's rich, that's a plus.
Do you have like guys that you're not attracted to approach you a lot?
I wouldn't say, maybe online. In real life, probably like half and half. But I think a lot of what I have in me is what allows certain things to come my way. Like I said, how I feel about myself normally attracts people who also have high standards for themselves in terms of how they look, how they carry themselves and whatnot. And then there's the people who I would say the unqualified people who they don't have that type of work ethic, but they see, what I have. They feel my vibration. So I can understand them maybe wanting to say hello, being attractive. But in real life, it's like, I don't want to entertain things that would throw me out of alignment with my goals. For example, if I have some regular guy that's like, oh, let me, I'm going to compliment you. I know how to take a compliment. They want to take me on a date. I can see that too. But like, for me, like if I'm going to date anybody, like my intention is like intentional dating for marriage. I can't entertain somebody who today doesn't have what's needed to really, hit the gas. Because it's just like, especially when I'm not 20, I'm 30, I'm in my 40s. So I'm like, I don't have no time to play games or wait for somebody to be optimized. Like, you at this day and age, you have to be ready today. Otherwise, I can't entertain it because it would be a waste of time. Like, I know how the story ends. It would be like, like you said, resentful. I would not be happy with somebody who could properly take care of me. So why would I even get into that in the first place? Like I had, my last boyfriend was like 2.5 years ago. We had a great relationship. He had the resources. He treated me and my daughter very well, but I had to break up with him because he had like some mental kind of things that I think was coming up from damage from his past marriage, whereas it was kind of spilling over into our relationship. Like, I guess whatever happened with him and his ex-wife, you could tell that he needed like time separate away from our relationship to work on his mental health. And we broke up, and of course he thought it was some other guy. I'm like, I choose myself, but he got the counseling and therapy that he needed to be a better man. Now he's in a relationship with somebody else, but he did call me and he thanked me for pointing that stuff out. Now, whoever he's with, he's able to show up for them 100% him without being the 100% him that's damaged from his prior relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's good to have standards and boundaries in place for yourself. So by doing that, you can, I would say, statistically increase the chances that you can get that thing that you feel you desire.
Yeah. But I mean, I know, I don't know if you want to go deep into the session part, because some things you talk about sessions, and I don't know, like,
which one
do
talk
you
about?
want to? No, I mean, like, how did you started? What got you started doing sessions a bit? Like,
people would ask for them. Like once I became a pro, a lot of the, I guess, stuff that I would do for fun, like, I would have like my little guy friends, let me pick him up. Cause I thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, this is funny. I picked this guy up. But then, you post that online and there's people like, oh my gosh, you picked him up. So then I just realized there's this whole world of people who like this type of stuff. And it's just like, oh, I guess this is a fetish, like, oh, strong woman or a woman picking up a man. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I did my research. And it's like, oh, I looked up different type of fetishes that people have, like, the muscle worship, the strong woman, the mixed wrestling and stuff like that. So once I did my research and found out that there's a market for it and that I fit that particular niche, I'm like, oh, well, I can make some pretty good money, doing sessions. And I have.
yeah.
I don't do them as much. I mean, periodically, I just do them a lot. I don't do them as much as I, did, but it was it's a good way to make some good disposable income. You meet some interesting people, and I would say most of the people that I met they're nice people. Like in terms of the weirdos, the weirdos are like the message request people that send weird stuff online, but in real life, the people who I've met who wanted to like meet me, it was very respectful, very cool, very much so like, oh, I like these things, but I can't really I mean, maybe they could. The fear is that if they express maybe to their partner or whoever that they're with in close proximity, how they really feel about certain things, that they will be judged, called a weirdo or something like that. When people like what they like I said, there's a lot of men who like muscular women more so than what they want to admit to. And if they admit that, somebody's going to probably call them some type of homosexual. When it's just so different than a guy liking a girl with like a big booty or big titty. Some guys like girls with big traps and biceps because they like how it looks. I like how it looks too. I'm like, it's artwork.
Yeah, I mean, one of your videos, it talks about it. I'm not gonna play it, but yeah, I mean, there's a few videos I've seen you talk about it. That's why I kind of brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not too many women bodybuilders talk about it. So I mean, I like how you make a balance of, you talk about your working out and powerlifting, and then you talk about sessions. So yeah.
I like the sessions are fun. What I like the most about it is just meeting new people. Like they're like just an interesting bunch of people. In my opinion, I'm like, anybody who would want to do a session with me for real is a person who I need to meet, because we have similar ways of thinking about the things that entertain us and that are fun and fulfilling.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Mm-hmm. So just about anything can be sexualized. So
yeah, it can. I mean, some people like, I got some guys, I got my little nails done. They're like, oh my God, I love the ladies with the long fingers and the French, all type of stuff, all type of fetishes.
Yeah, you're an attractive woman. So, of course, you're going to be sexualized. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, it comes with the territory.
Well, I don't want to take you hostage. I really appreciate you stopping by and, sharing. Yeah, we could do this again. Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate this interview time.
I appreciate you.
It was nice to be thought of. And, I like how you put the video together for me and shared my link to my, my TikTok and my YouTube. That'd be nice.
Are you on TikTok? I didn't know you was on TikTok.
She-Hulk IFBBPRO. I'm almost at 10,000 followers. Okay. I'm getting there.
Yeah. I did put your Instagram on the description. I could also put your TikTok later on. But
Yeah.
I gotta run. I really appreciate talking with you though.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
do it again in the future.
I
I don't know if you're gonna compete again, but you know,
will do a couple meets this year. Bodybuilding future, but like this year, 2 more shows, the August show and October. So
okay.
you start
All
like
right.
this week. I'm starting my training for my August meet. So working on breaking
All
those
right.
world records, honey.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
So I'll see you later. Okay.
See ya.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank